Swami, when I look at the way you're offering all these services across the three verticals of education, nutrition, and healthcare without charging a single rupee, it makes all of us wonder if some basic minimum amount can be charged for those who can afford to pay.
There are two aspects to it. One is the aspect of the principles on which we run these institutions, and the second is the very practicality of why we run it the way we run it. If I go to the principles part of it, it was Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba's vision that education, healthcare, and food, these are basic necessities of life and should not be commoditized. Education is the fundamental right of every child born on earth. Healthcare is a fundamental right. And food and water, these are basic rights of every human being born anywhere in the world, whether rich or poor. And as Indians, we have never sold education, health or food. Our Gurukulams since the ancient times never charged a fee. Whether you are the son of the king or you are a son of a farmer, all of you studied in the same Gurukulam, all of you slept on the same floor, ate the same food, did the same things, and at the end, as a Guru Dakshina, whatever the parents could afford, they offered it to the Gurukulam and they went. Because of which students had gratitude for the society. Because they thought it's society which has provided for their welfare and education, so it is their turn to give it back once they graduate. And as healthcare also, our Vaidyas never charged anybody. Vaidyas were a part of a system which was patronized by the kings or the wealthier people in the society, like the temples and other places. And each temple had a Vaidya associated with that temple, even a midwife. And they looked after the welfare of the people around in that village. So this was never a culture in India to sell food or education or healthcare. I think the day we started doing that, our country started declining in its glory and culture. So be it the principle of Bhagavan or the Indian ancient ideals, these three are not to be sold and bought. That is the first thing. And you know the results of what happened when we started selling and buying education, health and nutrition. The humanity aspect of it disappeared from all the three. So that is the reason why we are a society which is so very, I would say, inhuman today compared to what it was centuries ago. The practical side of this thing which you might be more interested in is, we have so many poor people in the country and their income levels are so low that they cannot afford to pay for any of these things. If a child was being looked after by the parent, why would he come hungry to the school in the first place? But most of the government school children don't eat anything in the morning because their parents are laborers. They go to search for work very early in the morning. They have to get the daily wage. If they get the daily wage, at the end of the day, they will buy some food from the market, in the sense buy some rice or some dal and then come and cook something for the children. Because we have plenty of these children in our school. Second, for the education part of it, most of our children come from very poor rural backgrounds. And we ourselves go out into the rural areas, our people travel miles and miles to search for those children, do proper verification whether they really need this financial help or they can look after themselves, and only then they are given this scholarship. So they are already coming from such backgrounds where their parents' earning is not more than $2 a day or $3 a day. And many are single parent children, many don't have fathers. After COVID, lots of them lost their earning members. So these are the kind of majority of the children and girls largely who cannot afford. And the girls side, I must also tell you, most of the rural girls, they can't afford education is one thing. And even if they can afford, the parents don't provide them. They think, what will she do by learning too much? Where will find a groom more educated than her? So they avoid. Higher education is abysmally poor. 1% of rural girls are enrolled in higher education. So there is no point in charging. If we charge, the parents will withdraw that girl and take her home back. Because we give it free, so many girls are studying with us. That is the truth. Because parents have allowed them to study. In Telangana campus at Kondapaka, Siddipet, you must see, most of the girls are from the poorest of the poor families. Parents are beedi makers or tailors or pawn shop owners or small laborers and farmers. Most of them, some are orphans also. They can't afford. If we charge even a 10 rupee per day, most of the parents won't send them. So we give them everything free. So education profile itself is such that there is no scope for charging some and not charging the others. And when it comes to healthcare, 85% of our patients come from the backgrounds where their monthly income is less than 10 to 12,000 rupees. And that income is for family of husband, wife, 3 children, and maybe the elderly parents also. All of them survive on an income of less than $200, $300. How will they come and pay even a pediatric costs to at least $2,000 to $3,000, even in the very subsidized way? They cannot afford. So we are running the system in such a way that there is no scope for the rich people to even enter, because it's already full and we are having huge waiting list for the poorest of the poor. Our queues are even longer. That's why we had to go on opening more hospitals. So in principle also we would not charge, because that is our Indian ideal. We want to create a sense of gratitude in the people. Even otherwise practically for us it is not possible to charge.